Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Blender for Beginners. In this week's episode we're going to look at how to create some very simple terrain and then how to create a very simple grass effect and apply it to that terrain in quite a quick, easy and convenient manner. Now to start off with, we've just got a normal empty or near empty Blender project here. We've just got a plane. This is going to be our terrain that we're going to use in a little while. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a grass stalk that we're going to use to base our grass on. So to do that we want to create a new small plane over here. I've got a plane, and what we're going to do is we're going to very simply modify this to make it look roughly like a stalk of grass. So I'm going to scale it in, I'm going to rotate it around, and then I'm going to extrude it. So I'm going to select the top edge here using the edge select tool. I'm going to extrude that out there, and then I'm just going to move it and bend it a little bit and scale it in, and I'll do that one more time. There we go. So very simple blade of grass, there's not much to it really at all, it's just three faces, 1, 2, 3. And what we're going to do now that we've got our blade of grass is we're going to duplicate it. So select the blade of grass and then in object mode scale it down, duplicate it again, there we go, and I'm going to move them so they're fairly close together actually. There we go. And one more, so we've got 4 blades of grass. There we go, very quick and easy. And now that we've got 4 blades of grass, I'm going to select them all by moving over to the right hand window, and I'm going to select plane 1, which was our first one, and by holding down the shift key I'm going to click the rest, and once all the blades of grass are selected I'm going to select join to join them together. I'm going to go over to the materials and just make a very simple green material here. It's not quite the grassy colour I was going for there. There we go, that'll do. It's not perfect, but it'll do for now. And I'm going to rename the grass stalks now over here. Instead of being plane 4, I'm going to double click it and name it grass object. There we go. And we've got our grass object now. We've only got 4 stalks, and obviously we want thousands and thousands to cover our space over here. I'm going to scale that down, actually. There we go, scale that down. So what we need to do now is come over to our plane down the bottom here. We're going to select that, and what we're going to do is we're going to add a particle effects now. Particle effects on the right hand side, you see the little tab here with 4 yellow stars on. I'm going to click that, and I'm going to select new for a new particle effect. Now the default settings are emitter, but what we want to use is we're going to use the hair option. So click hair. All the hair will suddenly spring out, but we don't want hair, we want grass. So we're going to scroll down to where it says render, and at the minute we see render, it says path. We want to render an object instead, so click object, and then underneath there's a drop down box that says duplicate object, and there's a little yellow box icon. We're going to click that, and we're going to select our grass object here. And there we go, we can see our grass object is kind of coming through, although it appears to be coming through upside down, which is very, very annoying. And nope. And there we go, we can fix that in a minute. So there we go, we've got our grass coming through there. And what we need to do now, quick and easy fix, because I'm feeling lazy, is we'll just flip that terrain over. There we go. There we go, so we can see we've got our grass. Now if we scroll a bit further down, we'll see there's a couple more settings we want to have a look at. The first one is children, so click that. At the minute it's set to none. We want more blades of grass than that, so what we're going to do is we're going to select interpolated, And there we go, we can see suddenly we've got lots more blades of grass. At the minute we can see that it's displaying 10 blades of grass for every one of ours, but when we render it, it's going to display 100. So even though it looks like there's quite a lot of grass there right now, if we actually rendered it, there'd be absolutely tons more. There'd be 10 times as much. And we've got lots of different settings down here. So we've got stuff like random over here, so we can increase kind of the random size and spread. We've got grass on the grass. In fact, if I zoom out a little bit, you could probably see that even better. There we go. So there's my clump. I'm going to move it all the way down to the bottom so you see it's properly clumped together there. Or if I drag it over to the right, there we go. You can see it's more evenly spaced then. So we're going to move that back into the middle. And we can use these to kind of, so that's how to create very simple grass on our terrain. If we quickly, I'm going to have a look through my camera. In fact, I'll set this to my camera view, roughly here. There we go. And what I'm going to do is, just to show you what it looks like, we'll track down a little bit over here, and then we'll pan up as well, so we can see the blades of grass. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to quickly render out. Oh, in fact, what I'll do instead of rendering that right now, I'm going to go back into my plane, which is where my grass is on the plane, and I'm going to set the render settings to 10, because it's displaying 10 at the minute. If we try to render 100, it will take us a long old time. Here we go. There we go, fantastic. So we can see there we've got our grass. Looks okay, doesn't look great. We could invest a little bit more time in the grass mesh itself to make that look a little bit nicer. But so far, it's looking okay. That's not looking too bad. Another thing I should have said to do is, and then click smooth shading over here instead of flat. You find that can actually make a fair bit of difference. Another thing is, I think at the moment, because we flipped around this plane here, what we might have is it might be going straight through it because we need to flip the normals on this. So if we where's my normals on here? Here we go, recalculate normals. There we go. And with the plane selected, I'm just going to add kind of a dirt texture to it. I could go in and do a proper texture, but for now, for ease of use, I'm just going to add a kind of a muddy brown texture. You can add a proper mud texture to it underneath though. So let's have another look at that now. Hopefully the grass will look a bit smoother now that we've added smooth shading to it. It won't look quite so angular. There we go. Yeah, already it's looking better. Okay, so very, very quick and easy way to create grass for a terrain. And we can do lots of other cool stuff with our grass as well. So there's a few effects that I'll show you now that can, do kind of cool stuff with it. And it is, because we've used the hair modifier, they are meant to be hair effects, but they do work quite well with the grass. So, there we go, that's looking okay. If we go back into our particle effects here with the plane selected, at the minute we've got the grass it's not got a kink, it's just as we've made it, normal. And we can see here it says kink nothing, but we've got some other options here like curl. If I click curl, we can have a look. See it moves the grass around. Radial, wave, and braid, which is going to look really weird. So let's just have a look at curl. That should look okay. And we can even up the render settings now. In fact, if I go into display settings, I entered the wrong number there. I'm going to type in 50. and this will kill my computer a little bit. There we go, we can see there's a lot more grass there now. And so that's how to create grass in Blender using a very simple and quick and easy method. And that's how to create some terrain. One more thing that you can do with your grass as well is, oh, I appear to have killed my Blender. That's not good. If I quickly, one more thing we can do in Blender is we can create some more interesting terrain. So at the moment, for example, we've only applied this grass to a flat plane, but what we could also do is I'm going to show you how to use the Sculpt tool very quickly to create kind of a more realistic topography. So I'm going to create a new plane over here. I'm going to scale that up. The first thing we need to do is, it's only one face at the minute, so I'm going to add a modifier, and that's going to be multi-resolution. I'm going to subdivide it about 4 times, and then I'm going to go into Sculpt mode. And whilst in Sculpt mode, I'm going to select the clay tool over here, select a decent sized brush, up the strength of it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the topography of the land that we've got going on here. So I'm just kind of digging in and adding to this land, and there we go. Now we might need to flip this over as well in a minute, so that'll be fine if we do. But I'm going to go back into object mode, just set it to smooth shading. There we go. And then once again we can go to particle effects, exactly the same again. Choose hair, make sure it's set to object, and then choose our grass, and quickly flip that over. I don't know why it keeps doing that today. And then what we'll do is we'll just quickly, once again, recalculate our normals for this mesh. So recalculate normals. And, oh, no, I don't think we did want to do that actually. Oh, it's all gone wrong now. There we go. And we can see we've got the grass coming out of a more interesting kind of terrain now. Once again we can go into the settings and we'll add interpolated to it. And there we go. Perfect. And we can see it's much more of a realistic terrain. It's a bit more rugged and a bit more going on. So that's how you can create very simple grass and how you can create very simple terrain. Best of luck, and I look forward to seeing your work.